This is Gladiator's first breakfast with the new women. He's way at the back, and this is how you can see how long he is. He sticks out quite a bit farther than the girls. So the front two are fed. Now he's gonna feed the two breeding groups in the back. Because they let it be known that they still hadn't received theirs. So those pails hold about 35 pounds, and each group has 35 ewes plus a ram. So they're getting approximately a pound of grain a day. That's a breeding group back there. All these are breeding groups now except for the one at the front. They're lambs. So they're getting more a creep feed with the protein in it, whereas the adults are just getting a mixture of corn and barley. There, now everyone's happy. So this is the group that's going to be leaving us October 1st. They're getting bred by Gladiator. And these are all our replacement Dorset ewe lambs. And the Suffolks that are in this group are sold. They're going to be going to their new home around September 1st, so maybe next week. So we've headed out to the barley field just to pick up the very last of the straw bales. We had to take a day off from picking them up because we had rain, but it's a dry day today, so Arnie's picking up the very last of them. Max is back there with him because Max has to be involved with everything on the farm. But I have Katie and Ben back here with me. It's a very hot day. Katie has no more energy to go back there. It took her a long time to follow us back with the tractor, but she's here now. And Ben is sticking here with me too. And I'm going along the fence lines and picking some barley because it's all dried up, and it actually looks nice when you put it in vases and stuff in the house. So I'm gonna just put a few on display in the kitchen and around the house. Just cut them down. And it was a really hot, humid day today, so we didn't do too much. We did the bare minimal. Didn't have too much content for you yesterday, so I decided to join up two videos together. So it's the next morning, and Buddy's here at the door. Hi, Buddy. Are you tired already? Were you up all night? Was it a long night? Was it a really long night, sweetheart? Yeah. Are you hungry? I'll get you some food. And here's Tommy. Hi, Tommy. You guys look tired, and it's only the morning. So because our pastures are played out, everybody's inside now, as you know. And we're feeding all different groups. So these are the Dorset ram lambs that were born last fall. They're all eating small square bales that we had left over from last year. They're still good, but they're in a separate spot. But this feeder here is basically for small bales. A square bale fits in here. And this would be second cut hay, but it's a year old, so it's not the greatest, but it's good for them. These are the two Suffolk breeding groups. Most of the hay we're feeding indoors right now is wrapped first cut hay from this year. So if you were here, you could smell, it's a really fresh smelling hay, and they really like this stuff. But we got so much of it, we have to start feeding the wrapped hay right away. And we leave the dry hay for later in the year. It will end up being next year, because it will stay better over winter. Plus, if we have leftover, we can always sell unwrapped hay. You can't really sell wrapped hay. So we like to get it all fed up. And Arnie has a little bit left, so I see he's gonna take that over to the little guys so that they can have some fresh stuff too, and then they can choose whether they want the coarser, older stuff, or they want some of this fresh stuff. But all of the hay is a mixture of grasses and alfalfa. We don't have any fields that are straight alfalfa. It's always a mix. And as the field gets older and more played out, the alfalfa eventually dies out and the grasses take over. So depending on the age of the field, the alfalfa content in our hay will range from 60% to like 20%. Same goes for this breeding group in the main barn. The Dorsets and the 3 rams we have left in here are all getting first cut wrapped hay and mixture of alfalfa and grasses. All kinds of grasses are in the grass mixture. It would be brome, orchard grass, ryegrass, the alfalfa, a little bit of timothy, and that's basically it. Push over! I can't get in, buddy! This is the problem of being too friendly. Like, I'm trying to get through the gate here, and this boy won't let me through. Oh, come on, buddy. There we go. And see, he's the ram, but he's still concentrating on females, so he's lost a little bit of weight. The females are in better shape because they're concentrating on eating and having babies, and he still thinks that he can breed. And when they want to breed, they're not eating as much. That's Chewy right beside him. I don't see an udder there. Oh yeah, I think she does have a little udder there. Can you see it? Chewy's got an udder. Chewy. Good girl, Chewy. This will be her first lambing. Okay, so here we are in the Dorset pen. You can see lots and lots of udders starting now. Those two have udders, but they're just little ones right now, you can see. As opposed to her, who's having a bigger udder. Got to pay attention to those big udders. Sometimes it means they're close. Sometimes it means they're developing a hang bag. That's to be determined. Same with her. That udder is a bit dangly for our liking. There's a much nicer looking udder. We like to see the nipples at that kind of angle too. Some nipples will hang straight down, but hers are on like pointed out towards where lambs would be nursing. We find lambs find those the easiest. And even the one beside her, you can see she's got a furry udder, but it's still there. And we are seriously downsizing. I got a comment saying that we're just kidding and we're too young to downsize, but we're in our 60s. It's just the two of us, and we are getting tired. We're not getting out of them. I can't imagine life without them. But even if we could get down to 200 or even 300 at that rate now would be nice. It would help us a little bit anyway. These girls are all doing good. Lambing's coming up in, I say, probably 3 weeks. So in the grain room where the silos are and the grain bins, Arnie will fill up these buckets to feed the coveralls. It sounds like a lot of manual work, but he's not carrying it across the yard. So he just scoops it out of the bucket in the barn and he brings it over here. And each barn will get 2 buckets. And this is the morning feeding, and they'll also get a night feeding. And the pails hold approximately 35 pounds. And it's pretty well a 50-50, eh? 50-50 barley and corn. All from
that one there could be 60-40.
For barley.
Well, maybe 50-50 down there. See?
It looks like 50-50. It's just approximate.
I can measure it today and tell you.
It's just approximate. Why? What's so funny about that?
Huh?
What's so funny? What's so funny? There is some joke that I missed there. Oh, and here's the ewe. She that we think has bottle draw every time, but she doesn't have bottle draw, and it's not Casey's either. She's actually got a growth on her jaw bone. Doesn't seem to affect her in any way, but I put a big orange stripe on her because I'm forever walking through here and seeing that and thinking, oh, someone's got bottle jaw, and she doesn't. It's just some kind of growth. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be affecting her anyway, so we haven't called her out, and maybe we will if we're downsizing, but it's not something that's contagious or anything like that, so we've been ignoring it. And the only problem it's causing for us is that I always think that she needs deworming, and we inevitably have been catching her, and it's always her. So the good thing is she doesn't have worms, but the bad thing is we always have to catch her. So she's marked. So we're in with Gladiator's breeding group, making sure they're all eating and doing well. Gladiator is the big guy in the group there. So the groups at the back of the barn need some bedding, so we're just going to put some old hay that we have left over from last year, old first cut, and we're going to put that down as bedding. We're going to save our good straw for the sheep during the winter, and we just got to make sure these guys don't run out. Go on. Just gonna block the opening. Max, come here. Max, come block. Max, good boy, good boy. He's starting to listen a little bit better, but he so wants. Max, here. He wants to go around front of them, eh? Stay here. Good boy. So he just drops that bale over the top. Max! Max! Good boy, good boy. Max is the dog that wants to work with Arnie no matter what he's doing. I tried yesterday to stop him running back while Arnie was doing the hay because I really don't like him running around equipment, but he just won't listen. He's determined to stay. Katie and Ben stayed with me, but Max is stubborn. Wherever Arnie is, he wants to be. And we do feed grain to all of our sheep, especially right now because these guys are in breeding groups, so it's kind of like flushing. We want them to ovulate and be really in good condition for lambing. And this year they were out on pastures quite a bit. They got parasites, and a lot of them are on catch-up mode because once your pastures get played out and they start eating parasites, they go down very, very quickly. So people have been feeding grain to sheep for centuries. It's not like it's a new product that we've been doing. The Egyptians even fed it to their animals. I was watching Ewetopia Farms last night, and he had a very interesting live video going. But a lot of people will poo-poo feeding grain, but grain helps get them in good condition quickly, and it doesn't cause fatness, only if you overfeed the grain, and you can just as easily get fat sheep on high quality legume hay. So it's all the quantities you feed that's gonna determine whether they get fat or not.
If you want sheep to gain weight, you take them to McDonald's.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Now we're putting a bale in for the other side. Being indoors at this time of year, it means we have a little more labor work to do. It's like being indoors in the winter. But at least we're not catching sheep and deworming them all the time, and we aren't having sheep die on us. The pastures are just out for this year. One of our back pastures is starting to grow up, so I might let the replacement ewe lambs out there in a few weeks to get back, but I'm going to be very careful. It's not that pastures are bad, but it's having the volume we have out on pastures, because this group was actually out on pasture too. Two of them had ramifications of worms, but everybody else seemed okay. But they are a smaller group on a much larger pasture, so they did better. So people who have, 50 or less sheep aren't going to have nearly the problems as people putting hundreds of sheep out on pasture are going to have. Here we are in the breeding group. We've come to visit Gladiator. Hi, Glad. He was just seeing what the Dorset ewes were doing over there. Hi. Do you like your girls? Do you like those white girls over there? Those aren't yours. No. No. Those are for Shara. Yeah, they are. But even in a breeding group, he's quite a friendly lad. Yeah, you're a good boy. Yeah, you are a really good boy. Yeah, you are. You are a good boy. And what he's watching is he's watching them getting a straw bale. Well, it's a hay bale. We use it as bedding. Hey, Glad. Say nice sheep over there. So with the hay, he's able to roll it out as bedding, but because that straw we just baled up is a little chopped up, we're guessing it's gonna break apart. Now you see, this is why we have a double barrier, because we got that. This here is Sheriff. Hi, Sheriff. And Glad was here. Glad's now looking at his women. Hi, Sheriff. Is Glad over here threatening you? Yeah, he's threatening you. I know. I'm guessing Sheriff's group is probably all bred.
I'm thinking about taking a little off the grain, I think.
They all look in good shape.
That's what I'm thinking. Come on, guys. Come on. Be nice, Ben. Come on.
It's always, when you're feeding the sheep, you're always watching condition. We've mentioned that before. But if they're starting to get heavy, you want to slowly cut back. If they're starting to look a little too lean, slowly increase. But these girls all look in extremely good condition, so they don't need a lot of grain anymore. We'll probably increase the grain again as they get closer to lambing to help support the lamb growth. But in the middle of pregnancy, they just need to maintain their body weight. Now we're in the last barn. We got the friendly rams. Well, the sun's just starting to go down earlier and earlier each night. It's supposed to rain tonight and it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. And we're also supposed to be shearing tomorrow, so fingers crossed tomorrow's video will be about shearing. But for today, we're going to say goodnight and hope you'll join us again for the next episode at Ewetopia Farms. Bye for now.